Hi, my name is Tom Nuyens, and in this video I want to share with you how to prevent, deal with or overcome fear of failure completely and for once and for all. And first I would like to share with you that there is no need whatsoever to feel ashamed about the fact that you experience fear of failure, because without any exception everybody encounters some sort of fear in their life sooner or later before they decide to resolve the root of these fears. The only difference there might be is that some people are able to cover these fears better behind a mask than others might be able to do so, until this mask cracks, obviously. Now imagine sitting in a completely dark room. Now it doesn't help to start fighting the darkness if you'd wish to see. The only thing that does effectively work is to turn on the light so that the darkness disappears. And we gain visibility about what we are able to do. In the same way, I would like to turn on the light concerning our fear of failure, simply by making visible what it really is. And only then we can start overcoming them from the origin, instead of being stuck with all kind of symptoms that this fear of failure provides us with. Now, do you tend to procrastinate, or do you recognize the feeling of being completely paralyzed or even limited or powerless because of this fear of failure? Then that's why it may sound a little bit controversial, but the good news is that this fear of failure has a positive meaning, even to improve your life drastically. Now, when we would choose to ignore all these symptoms of fear of failure, we'll encounter even more familiar and well-known symptoms like a pounding heart, a feeling irritated, feeling warmth, a red face, starting to sweat, lightheadedness, stomach aches, feeling that you are about to faint, a whole range of strange sensations in your body, shivering, nausea, tingling fingers, and maybe even hyperventilation. And the feeling of being suffocated is also possible. And all that is scary. You get anxiety, afraid of those symptoms. And you start questioning what's going on with you and what could happen. And all of this gives you more anxiety, never really being able to relax and recharge. Never being your real self and enjoying the little things. And also physically, your cramped neck, back and shoulders, a decreasing resistance. We start feeling physically weaker. Our immune system starts to fail, and we get more often really sick or minor diseases. And with all of this, the fear of the next fear of failure increases enormously. And sometimes it may even feel like, you probably know this already, like dying. Now, we can look at these symptoms as not being at ease or as at dis-ease, a disease. Now, if we continue to ignore these diseases or these symptoms of disease by covering them up, even, for example, underneath a nice blanket of medication, then our dis-ease signals might come up with bigger diseases, until we start paying attention and solve the actual cause of the fear and disease for once and for all. Now, to end the root of the problem for once and for all, and therefore to shine the light onto our dark fear of failure, I came up with a drawing to show you. I don't want to give you a superficial solution, so I want to take you back to the origin, back to the start, to the moment we were born. Here I imagine our way of pure and complete feeling as a heart. And from that moment we experience all kinds of negative and painful emotions. We weren't able to solve these painful and negative emotions we have experienced, and they set around our complete and fulfilled feeling. Of course, no one of us really want to feel this pain, and that's why we all found a different way of dealing with this. And do you know how? By building a wall of control around it. And how do we build this wall of control? We all know this, I guess. We all stop by living from the way we are feeling and start living from our mind or our thinking. Let me symbolize this brain for this. We use our mind or our thinking in searching for distractions outside of ourselves to prevent ourselves from feeling pain again. These distractions or our constant thinking, yes, of course, I should better do this, or I should be doing something otherwise, or I wouldn't feel right, so I have to keep busy and do this, this, and that. This annoying little voice inside our head, I'm sure we all know of, services as a band-aid to cover up any cracks in our wall to prevent ourselves of feeling what may be on the inside. With this, the problem is that we do not just cover up our pain, but also our complete and fulfilled feeling. Because we are closed up now from our feelings by our thinking, we feel empty. And because we feel empty, we start to look for a feeling of fulfillment in all kinds of distractions outside ourselves. For example, by creating success or by starting a relationship, because we'd rather not be alone, because then we would feel our empty feeling again. So we start searching for a feeling within this relationship to fulfill ourselves. Even in simple things like a new smartphone, we start to search for this long-lasting feeling of being complete and fulfilled. In food, by filling us, or a new car, or a new house. Strangely, we are searching for a feeling in these things by walking away from our feeling. The contradiction shows itself here very clearly, yet we do not question ourselves about these choices and the routine that it has become for so many of us. We'd rather invest all of our money and time to build a life filled with these distractions that never work permanently, that create something like a reality replacement for the feeling that we are actually missing. And this becomes a replaced identity of ourselves, and we start to believe to have become this illusion. We all know the excitement or the short shot of satisfaction that we get when we buy a new phone or a car or get a new partner. But after a period of time, it doesn't give us the same feeling of fulfillment that we are desperately looking for. So we have to buy the next phone or car, always hoping by repeating the same pattern that the next thing will give us the feeling of complete fulfillment. The problem arises when we start to walk away from our feelings and we start searching for a feeling in these distractions, which obviously will never really fulfill us. When a distraction falls away, or when we become used to our distraction, unsolved pain will come through our wall of protection again, and we will need to replace one distraction after the other. We need to work harder and harder against our will to be able to keep up with continuously buying or finding new distractions, and at the same time we are afraid that we will fail in gathering new distractions and are afraid that our gathered distractions might be taken away from us, because then we would feel our unsolved pain again. This routine is extremely exhausting. We are all aware of this. Until we reach the point where the alarm signals or dis-eases become so great that we can go no further. Our body gets cramped, which might result in back pain, neck pain, headaches, muscle and joint pain. And it is likely, if we keep ignoring these symptoms, that we might get a burnout, a depression, chronic fatigue syndrome, or even don't see the point of living anymore and commit suicide. Now, what is fear? Let's take a closer look. Fear is just the resistance that we won't be able to get our next distraction, or that one of our created distractions will disappear or will be taken away from us. As a result, the band-aid will no longer work, and then obviously we will start to feel the pain again that we haven't resolved yet. So basically, fear is the imprisoning chain between our unsolved feelings and the restless hunt for distractions to cover them up. So let's represent this lock as a symbol of fear. I hope by showing you this drawing that all this is not only something that can be pretty annoying, but also can be seen as a wake-up call that covering up our unsolved pain out of fear will never liberate us from fear and pain, and that this direction will only bring us further away from the feeling of complete fulfillment that we all are longing for. So as long as we experience fear, tells us that we are still having unsolved pain, that we are still living in our restless mind and are settling for a replacing reality instead of a really feeling alive in freedom. I also hope that this shows you that there actually is a world possible in which we can choose to live the way we really are, without fear and without unsolved pain. Now, if we learn to solve all of our unsolved pain and fear, then our restless thinking to escape in distractions isn't necessary anymore either, and only the feeling of experiencing complete fulfillment will be left. And then, and only then, we can choose to start using 100% of our mind or our thinking to create a relationship or a job from what we feel like creating naturally. As an obvious result, we won't encounter any fears anymore that these will be taken away from us or that they will disappear. And when you reach this stadium, only then you can truly enjoy this part of creating. You will start to create without fear or the feeling that something is holding you back. And since we don't experience the fear anymore that things, people, or achievements may be taken away from us, because we will feel completely and fulfilled independently, without experience fear and having to feel pain. And do you know the difference between creating something as a distraction or upon free will? An easy way to check. If you stop doing what you are doing and you are still feeling completely fulfilled, then you are acting upon free will. On the other hand, when you stop doing what you are trying to do or achieve, and you will start feeling restless, really bad, irritated, annoyed, then you are doing it to look for distractions from unsolved feelings, which make you still live in prison. Important to know, pain doesn't feel like, oh, I am in pain. No, it shows itself through symptoms like restlessness or being irritated. And the good news is, there is a way to get rid of all this pain. And importantly, you don't need to go through this pain again to get rid of it. And a way not to feel and fear anymore, and you will live and choose in freedom to create the life you have been dreaming of. Even though I tried really hard to create a successful mask that I was wearing, or the more I was trying to run away from my insecurities or my fears, the exhausting, limiting fears kept arising, and they didn't go away. I only started to feel truly liberated, relaxed, self-secure, and filled with joy independent of my circumstances when I decided to go to the root of my fear, to the root of my pain, and to the root of my replacement identity, and then to work through this. And the fun thing about this is that when you are no longer captivated in this system of fears, that success will be created by itself as a fun extra. Because when the fog of the fear disappears, suddenly possibilities arise out of nowhere. And this way success will be created by itself and from the perspective of who you really naturally are without the fear and without the pain. And it will be created from the feeling of feeling completely fulfilled already, instead from the previous known and thought way of doing it involving fears, restlessness, stress and worries. Because when I was younger, I didn't even dare to stand up in my classroom and read out loud in front of my class. And after I decided to get to the root of my fears and insecurities, I didn't even need much preparation to present in another language to 150 million people on international television. Because I no longer experienced any fear of falling off the steps or to be a complete idiot. And you can do this too. Everyone can make this happen for themselves, regardless your current situation, because you don't need to cultivate it. You don't have to be rich for it or try really hard. You don't need to change your relationship, the place where you're living, or the way you look. You might if you want to do so, but it's not necessary. Just understanding how to get there is enough. And the video is limited in time. But if you want to know step by step how to get immediately past a symptom of a panic attack, or if you want to know the truth about fear and pain that will set you free, or if you want to know how to automatically become a magnet for love once you get rid of your fears and your pain, well, then just click the link above, beside, or underneath me, depending on where you look at this video. And this will take you to my online blog. And from there, I will be able to send you 4 videos free of charge that I created especially for you. Now, I hope you see that the symptom of fear is just a sign that we can change the direction from our hunt for fulfillment in distractions for the feeling of complete fulfillment without ever finding it, into going straight and finding the feeling of complete fulfillment without having to feel any fear or unsolved pain anymore. As long as you are still feeling fear in a kind of way, this only means that you are still captivated somewhere in this system of this replacement identity. You only have to take a couple of more steps to get past it, to feel free, excited, and full of energy again. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to help me liberate even more people that are still living in a world of fear, pain, disease, and limitations, please share this video with your friends. And if you do, you will get the chance to win a very valuable present regarding this matter. Now, click on the link and I will see you in the next video.